Good evening, another night of ESL Pro League is about to go down. Your favorite CS teams are about to do battle. We've got some fantastic storylines coming into today. I'm your host, Alex Machine Richardson. I've got myself none other than Chad Birchall. I'm not going to do this sponge rubbish. I'm done with that.
Jeez, that started with a bang almost.
Almost.
Yeah, we could have been off to a good one.
Yeah, indeed we are. And it is going to be a good one. It's not the only time we've had good ones here at the Pro League, though. We've had a little bit of a break. We've caught our breath. There hasn't been an absence of CS, though. There's been a lot going down outside of the Pro League recently as well, Chad. Have you been watching any of these games? I've seen a lot of tweets.
I've watched so much Counter-Strike lately, it's ridiculous. I actually watch more Counter-Strike now than I did when I was a player.
I love that.
Because I was too busy playing, and now all I get to do is watch CS. I'm watching like 8 games a day.
What were some of your highlights from your basically locked in your dark room watching CS?
I literally spent 3 days basically in bed watching Counter-Strike over the weekend.
No way.
Like all those events. The highlights were watching Henry and Matt.
Yes, were you just watching their slow deterioration of sanity?
Yeah, it was
Because we have like a little chat, and I just scroll through, because I mean, I was kind of enjoying some time off. I'd scroll through and I just saw Chad kind of basically like, still in there, hang in there, boys.
Yeah, you got it while laughing hysterically.
Yes, yeah. It's called Schadenfreude in German. It
laughing
means,
hysterically?
No, laughing at someone else's misfortune.
Oh, okay.
They actually have a word for it. Of course they do. Germans have words for everything.
Why not?
But that's what's going on. I did ask you what your highlight was. My highlight is that I'm incredibly... No highlights?
No.
Not even a good game? Not even a good team? You know,
That was all good.
Oh, listen to this guy. Such a charmer. But anyway, the league table, because things are about to get interesting. The Brazil finals are just around the corner. At the end of this month, we'll be heading over to Sao Paulo to see the ESL Pro League go down. Of course, North America and Europe clashing. You get to your top 6 from Europe, though, and that's what we'll be talking about right now. I apologize if I sound a little bunged up. I am, as we say in England, under the weather. Now, who else is going to be under the weather at the end of this week? Keep your eyes on that table, because I've seen some masses gone down. Graham was posting some weird graphs.
It's Graham's maths, though. We can never trust Delayham.
Have you looked at it? I heard he said 16-10 is the threshold.
Yeah, so like NIP and Mouse are basically on that threshold, basically. If they win one more, then...
One more match.
I think the calculations here you need to take into account, like, if a lot of the games go 1-1,
sure,
based on how even this season is going. So I think that's probably how he based his calculations, seeing where NIP is and where Mouse are and how many games they have left. But it's way too close to call. Like, after tomorrow night, which sounds stupid, then there'll only be one night left. But that's when I think, you know, we can sit there and go, okay, if this team beats this team, then they're going to make it, or we're going to be seeing tiebreakers, this, that, and the other. Right now, way too close to call. We've got NIP on the top, 15 wins, 7 losses. And then you've got even, like, Astralis, they're sitting at 11-11, but you never know what could happen for that 6th spot.
I mean, I actually saw some crazy tweet from, I believe it was the social media representative from Astralis. I follow him, and I saw him tweeting that Astralis can still make top 6, and it was this crazy table of ifs and buts involving Navi winning 1 map but losing 2, Envy 2-0ing someone. It was, I wish I had it in front of me. I did just have a frantic look, but I couldn't seem to find it. But there is, you know, everyone at this point in time, behind the scenes, you know, every organization is sitting there crunching the numbers, working out how the hell do we get to Brazil. $750,000 available should they get to Sao Paulo, but it is a tough road for some teams. And we can have a look at what's coming up today, because we will be seeing some of those names that were just mentioned on the table. In fact, Chad's going to go ahead and walk you through why these games are exciting. We start with Hellraisers Mouse. Now, what catches your eye about this one?
Well, Mouse are that team who are at the top of the table right now. If they can get these 2 wins, they're going to cement themselves that spot in Brazil. So it's exciting for them to see if they can make this. But Hellraisers, on the other hand, they don't want to come in that, you know, bottom 2 to 3 position, potential relegation there. Definitely if you come last, but they're sitting down the bottom, and these guys want to see a bit of progress. You know, they've added Dead Fox to the lineup. He's going to be now, you know, playing and showing what he's got, and he's actually shown really good stuff over the last couple of weeks since he's been added. The Fnatic Heroic game is the same kind of thing. Fnatic are a team who could make these finals, and Heroic are one who want to survive the bottom 3. The Astralis G2, this is a really interesting match. These are 2 teams. Whoever gets these wins here will be looking like they could potentially, maybe if everything goes their way, get those 6 spots, because these teams are in very similar positions right now. NIP, they just want to extend their lead against Penta, and once again, Penta, another team just wanting to stay away from the bottom.
And that's what's so crazy, is that, you know, simultaneously we have a team battling to get the top spot and a team trying to avoid relegation, going up against each other. And it's not like it's an open and shut case, especially given that Nuke is a map between NIP and Penta. Yeah,
it's really good, though, that the league is so close still, because if it was just top heavy and you knew that who was going to be relegated or who was going to, you know, make it really clearly, then you might have some games that didn't really matter. But now everybody's fighting either for survival or that spot in Brazil. So it's going to make really interesting matches, I think.
Even though our monitors aren't turned on, you are, no doubt, about how exciting these games could be. The first thing I want to mention, though, when we head into Mouse Hellraisers, I want to make sure we have ample time to discuss this, is, of course, the big one regarding Oscar. I saw the Score Esports actually posted a big article, you know, he did a Facebook post and they looked into it, and you'll be able to find that over at their website. In fact, yeah, this is it. Oscar's removal from Hellraisers. I say removal, it seems like it was actually, I mean, it was his decision. I read through his statement. Actually, I read Czech, but also he did, for the others.
Nice.
He actually wrote it in English, but yeah, he did make a statement. It seemed to kind of, the TLDR, I recommend you go ahead and read it either on his Facebook or on the Score Esports, but basically the TLDR was, I couldn't handle the team dynamic.
How old is he? Because there was an age thing in there, right? And he was saying like he's not...
I think he's like, he's getting on. He's like 20, 28, 29.
Is he really?
Yeah, I think so.
He looks older. What do we got here?
25. He's 25. What's he chatting about?
27.
Yeah,
you retire
23.
when you get to 27, not 25, mate. You're all good.
He's got loads of time. I mean, I understand, you know, we'll be talking about later, but Astralis picking up a 16-year-old, you know, while only standing in. But 25, it's not the end of your career. I don't know why he feels so strongly about the fact that he's running out of time.
So, like, I guess there's different teams who have just different systems. So, like, you've got the SK example, who they do a lot more theory than they do practice in terms of, like, scrims.
Yes.
Whereas if Mouse are just willing to play scrims after scrims after scrims, some people feel that they don't get anything from that in terms of practice.
What, as in just in their own kind of, in their own mind, they don't feel like
so
that's
normally, like,
beneficial?
I would notice when we were playing, either practicing here in Europe or Australia or even in the US, that the last two scrims of the night, if you'd played like an 8 scrims in a row, everybody's starting to fade. You know, once it's getting really late at night, your teammates are fading, the enemy's fading, everybody's like, you know, everyone started to have enough, and it just turns into, it's not wasted time, but it's more like a wind down. And I can understand if he doesn't want to have that wind down, he might not need that. He could do something else with that time. It just must be a system that doesn't work for him. He doesn't want to put in those 12-hour days. He feels that maybe with less practice or, you know, different system, he could be a better player or more focused.
Now, do take note of the roster. Lowell is going to be taking Oscar's place. Now, this is an intriguing pickup, especially given that it feels like just a 1 week, if not 2 weeks ago, I was standing alongside yourself and Yanko, and we were... I just got corrected. It is Lowell.
It is Lowell. Lowell's playing for Mousesports.
Why did I just get told it's not Lowell?
I don't know. We'll ignore Matt.
What a troll.
He's got no idea what's going on.
Oh my god, okay, so our producer is throwing a spanner in the works, but fortunately, maybe Lowell can do the same to Hellraisers. Now, this guy has already made a bit of a statement in Penta, right? I remember we were talking, the point I was trying to make was that Yanko and you were basically sitting there going, he's gonna get poached.
Yeah, it had to happen, and it did.
Well, excuse me.
While Alex coughs, we'll talk about why we thought he was going to get poached. He was doing a good job when he was in Penta. He was probably the best player, most consistent player in Penta, and was saying it's only a matter of time before this team gets a player poached, and it's a feeder team. Surprises me, though, that he went to the other German outfit.
Yeah, maybe
People couldn't see me do the air quotes, but I did those.
German.
Yeah, so, you know, it's good to see him making that move, and it's good that he gets the opportunity to do this. It's interesting how that team dynamic's going to work now, because I think Chris Joe will probably go back on that main AWP role, but I liked having him as secondary AWP. Like, I felt that he was doing really good on the rifle. Or when I say really good, he was still consistently one of the better players in Mouse, right? Like, he wasn't, you weren't saying that he was the worst player. He had some games where Oscar, when Oscar didn't play and they used Nex, and even when they did use Oscar, like they used Nex, and then Oscar came back, and then now Oscar's gone.
It was a bit of a mess.
Chris J was like, on the maps they lost or were really close, Chris J was like the best player. He was doing the best he could to carry the team across the line. So, and that was with Rifle, with AWP, with Scout, with everything. The guy, he's a good player. And I think not having him tied down to that AWP role was really good for him.
Sorry, the reason I'm not blanking, I am just reading Oscar's statement again. Okay, I wanted to get it fresh in my mind. But yeah, so basically, it did seem, did you watch that clip on Reddit where they were trying to give him the AWP on Cobblestone?
He didn't want it. He kept throwing it away.
Right. And that, I think that was just a perfect way to demonstrate, you know, hit the mindset he was in. I don't think it was necessarily the mindset his team was in, because they were just like, take the AWP, it's your role. Take the AWP, it's your role. Yeah. And the reason I wanted to look that is because after that Gfinity event, a sentence really stuck out to me. He said, when we arrived at the hotel, we sat down, began discussing the event. Not one word was said about my performance. Now, that's just testament to the fact that Mouse, they probably didn't care.
It's very rare, right? So if somebody's played really bad and everybody knows they played really, really bad, when you have a team like Talk, the person's going to step forward and say, like, I had a really bad performance, or, you know, it's not like people aren't going to get on top of you and be like, man, you suck this tournament. Like, that's not going to happen, especially him being new in the team. Yeah. That doesn't really happen. When you have the breakdown, everybody knows when you highlight mistakes, you talk through the mistakes, you can say if sometimes it wasn't a mistake in your eyes, you talk through it all. So I doubt his teammates would have sat there and said, man, you're a terrible player, what are you doing?
No, but I think you're right, though. He's saying it wasn't addressed. I would imagine that it'd probably be more constructive to say, I'm going to keep coughing, I'm sorry. It'd be more constructive to say, hold it in, Alex, tickly. it'd be more constructive to say, God, this is so hard. To say, let's actually, let's run through the demos. Let's identify what those mistakes were. I saw something on X. I saw it on this map in particular. I felt like you could have done Y. And, actually, it'd been a review as opposed to yeah, you did bad. You'll do better next time. Pat on the back. I mean, that's something. Perhaps not for Oscar. It seemed clear that already after that event, he knew he wanted to leave. Yeah,
well, I think I read the statement a couple of times as well, and you just read it and you think that. The main thing is he didn't feel like he fit in, or he didn't feel like it was what he wanted. And if that's the case, then there's no two ways about it. If he doesn't want it, then that's all there is to it. And there was speculation. To be completely honest, when I read the tweets coming out from people, and this is where it gets lost in translation, right?
Yes.
You got people of all different languages translating what they want to say into English, and the connotations for me as a natural English speaker was like, oh wow, there's been like a massive blow up in the team. Maybe someone's punched someone.
It did sound like that.
Oh, and then my mind went to as well. Oh, maybe there's been something really bad happening in his family, and he can't focus on the game and stuff. But it was just him not feeling comfortable, which is probably the best reason for him to stop playing in the team. But it sucks because it was his chance, and the fact that he couldn't bring himself to commit to that, it sucks for Mouse, and it sucks for him because he was a player on the rise, and now it's going to be interesting to see where he lands.
Absolutely, it will be. I have no doubt we'll be seeing Oscar's face again. He says he's going to be streaming some FPL and chilling out.
We'll watch
He'll be around. He'll be around.
I'll jump in there and be a dead weight for him on his team.
Yeah, absolutely. We know. Hey, I've seen you on that Rats Instagib game we've been playing.
Nice. Yeah, I was playing it the other day.
You were?
Yeah.
It's a good stress reliever. Yeah. But moving away from that into the other discussions surrounding this game, and it is none other than Lowell. I want to explore that just a little further. Yeah, because we started talking about him and then I got sidetracked by my various illness.
That's okay.
But the Spaniard. In Penta, it was evident to everyone, both viewer and analyst, that this wasn't his final resting place.
Wow, he's only 19, so
you know what I'm saying. This wasn't his final form.
Yeah,
we knew we were going to see more from Lau.
And in the games he's played for Mouse so far, he's been.
How many has he played? Have you got stats?
I think he's played 2 games. I think he played the other night with them against who was it? I was watching the match.
This will be the first time I see him.
He was playing against someone I forget. Flip side. Boom.
Nice work.
Yeah, I beat Matt to it.
You did.
Yeah, so he was versus Flipside.
Okay.
Nothing, but the fact that he gets those kind of games to assimilate himself into the team is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'm excited about the prospect of seeing Chris J on primary up again, just because a lot of people worried he'd get lost. He didn't, admittedly, but just seeing him back to okay, it's yours again. It gets dropped to you. He won't be probably throwing it back like we saw for NG Infinity.
Yeah, I assume that there's probably some pretty big egos in this team as well. Just assuming what you've heard about Nico and probably similar with Chris J. Those two guys would go head to head from time to time when there's disagreements.
Yeah.
Oscar seemed like he was probably that type of guy as well. Not having him in the lineup now and having a young kid like Lau in there, first of all, he's gonna probably just put up with it.
Just be placid.
And he's just gonna deal with it. So that's maybe good that, you don't want. It's good to have leadership and it's good to have people constantly coming with ideas and stuff, but you don't want like a clash of heads every single time you're going into a match, or one little small thing happens and people are arguing mid-round and stuff. Like that thing, I think it was at E-League where Nico was yelling shut up or whatever it was.
Just shut up, shut up,
yeah,
shut up.
Where they're arguing. You know, that's stuff you really want to avoid, especially in the middle of a match. Like, I don't think that ever happened to me in the middle of a live game, like a live competitive game.
That's been the case for a while. I mean, I remember I was walking around Malmö for DreamHack Masters.
Okay.
And Mousesports, there was constant. Admittedly, Nico is the one often giving the berating, yeah, whatever it is. He likes to raise his voice and make his point clear. I think it's. I mean, to be fair, everyone has a different leadership style.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just how he rolls.
Yeah, it is
quite jarring when you hear it though, because it's obviously not you'd broadcast to the audience.
Yeah.
But when you hear it yourself, you're like, that's legit.
It would be in English, so yeah, it'd be quite heated. I just think the way that everyone does it different, right? Like
Absolutely.
You're saying. I think if you're a team though, it could be really bad if you're a team that's quiet about it and you do make mistakes in game and then you don't go afterwards and you can't be honest with each other. Like say if you made a clear mistake and we never addressed it because we didn't want to hurt your feelings or whatever. Exactly. It's just another way of kicking it under the rug. So you're not winning either way. You need a good middle ground. And this is where I think like the coach and management is really important because they're the people who need to be able to dissect that. They're usually the mature, older people in the team who can help sit people down, have a good conversation about it. We had an in-game leader. I don't know if I've told this story before.
Ooh,
back in CGS days, where Championship Gaming Series for those playing at home.
Yeah.
It's on television in the US.
Yeah. Henry G was a player then.
Henry G, he was part of London Mint.
He was Mint. Oh,
I was part of Sydney Underground. Yeah. I don't think his team was really any good, but
Sydney Underground were pretty baller,
we were ballers.
Yeah.
Anyway, our in-game leader at the time was Boomster. Now I don't know, people may not have heard of him or whatever, but he he was an in-game leader in Australia for quite a long period of time. But his way of dealing with the issues, it was like every night before we had like a major tournament or a major event on or whatever, it would basically be a massive DNM session, deep and meaningful session with the whole team.
Really?
And it would break the whole team down, and like we'd get mad at each other, but then we'd fix like there's maybe a bit of angst and stuff.
Oh,
and
really?
he'd force it. Like he'd actually force it.
So he basically tell me like, Chad, you had a problem with the way Alex was holding A, didn't you?
Yeah, and then,
like,
but then not only that, it's like you get like if you like when you died, like you said stupid stuff like, oh my god, I missed that shot. I'm like, stop saying down, and it just broke down to like,
okay.
And it would always get like pretty heated and stuff. But then the next day, everyone's like mates. You've built the unity and stuff, and it always seemed to work in a crazy kind of way. Well, I don't know. I was only 18 at the time, so it was pretty confronting for me with all these big dudes around me. But it seemed to work. We seemed to bond and play better as a team and stuff afterwards. So.
18-year-old Chad. I want to see pictures. Maybe later.
The hair was much worse.
Well, we'll be talking about this further. I'm going to start looking at pictures of 18-year-old Chad. But we can go ahead and get some bright young faces on your screens now. It's none other than the sprightly Henry G and Pansy to guide you through our first map.
Yeah, we feel a little fresher, seemingly, than that desk. Alex, I hope you're okay, buddy. You
I don't think I am. I think
you're
I feel
holding
like
on by
a
a thread.
ghost of my former self, to be honest. This is the first day back for me from Ukraine.
Yeah?
Hasn't been a good day.
No,
but I'm
not a
ready.
good
I'm going
time.
to cast 4 games tonight, get myself back into it quickly, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, Henry, have you ever had the issue of having 2 of your exes in the same place at the same time?
Yep, more than once.
So we've got Hellraisers and we've got Mousesports, 2 of
Okay.
Oscar's exes. How do you handle that situation? If you're in their situation.
I guess for Mousesports it was just a fling, right? So
it was
it's
just a one-time thing.
Yeah, so like it was quick, it was easy, it was quite a clean cut-off as well.
That's
so I
it.
think they're fine.
Clean
I
break.
think they're okay. Hellraisers though, they've got the addition of Dead Fox.
Have they upgraded though?
I think Dead Fox has been playing really well. I think in terms of like the skill ceiling that's available, I think Oscar obviously is going to be higher than him. But in terms of the way Dead Fox has come into this team, not being kind of from the same region, these guys, he's actually been a great addition to them, I think. I think overall he's looked very good. I think when everyone thought when Oscar left Hellraisers, they thought that's it. That team's done, they're not going to recover. But they've actually come into Pro League and actually had some really good results, taking some top teams to overtime, getting some decent maps off people as well. I'm not minding this at all. I think Dead Fox has been really good. We first saw him at the minor earlier in the year, and that's when I thought, okay, this guy's actually got some serious talent. But he slotted himself into the top end of the scene quite nicely, it seems. But Mousesports, obviously, this must be the first showing of Laura. I'm not sure if that's official.
I think they played 4 other maps before this, but this is one of the bigger showings.
I guess they've been doing stuff like ECS and stuff like that, right? But
yes.
we'll see how he starts in. Obviously, a player with great talent as well. I haven't seen the roster at all, so I'm assuming Chris J will be AWPing now, Nico probably in the secondary AWP. But let's get into it, shall we? Mousesports on the T side here. We're going to be having 3 sets of armor, 2 smokes, and a Molotov for a little post-plant situation fun. But B-side action coming in, it looks like. They'll probably be doing smokes towards short, I'd imagine, towards both of those arches, or maybe just rushing. Who knows? Maybe just a rush. Let's go.
Straight up rush. Zero's going to be the one to wait and receive this. Generally, he's been a bit of an anchor for this team as well. Very, very solid player. Not going to hit the first shot, so he gets overwhelmed. Only 1 player posted on B early as well here for Hellraisers, so it's retake time if they fancy it, but Dennis getting aggressive towards Kitchen, not going to allow it to happen. Now, the 3 players left remaining, not really in a position of power at all. You've got 2 players already in Kitchen, creating a nice little crossfire. Chris J on contact. Dennis can swing out off the back, get another one, and this is looking pretty dire for Hellraisers. I don't think they're going to get much out of this. Bondic at least gets 1 on the way out.
Yeah, so they did have the smokes to work with there. I assume they throwed 1 towards middle. I didn't catch where it went, but that would be a nice idea to keep players towards that area and actually stop rotations nice and early. But yeah, straight up B rush there. Dennis goes aggressively towards the kitchen, actually manages to find 2 kills. And yeah, 4-on-2, not really much a CDs can do here. The most they can probably ask for is saving this armor, get a couple of kills. It's $300 per pistol kill. So Angel, he'll be holding towards ladder room. He's got 100 HP. His teammate Bondic, though, he's actually on 2. So at this point, saving the body armor, believe it or not, it's actually quite a good investment. I think you get an upgraded pistol next round, and stay alive Angel at this point. Not really worth going down, so there it is. It means they'll be fully forcing into this round of CTs, but they do manage to save some cash with the body armor. So a simple approach in Mousesports, but sometimes Lauren, those are the best ones. Just getting in there together. If you're hitting your shots, then it works out for you.
Yeah, simple but effective. Mousesports actually statistically pretty decent on this map as well. One of the probably stronger in their pool at the moment. Had a good result against Fnatic recently. Again, take from that what you will. You know, which Fnatic shows up is always going to be interesting. But again, good performance from them. And another B here, it seems, coming out. So the smoke goes towards short there from Dennis. That just sits quite deep in short as well.
He's missed it.
Yeah, that's
Actually
not
lands
great.
on the roof.
Yeah, that's not the smoke you want. But Zero's at least going to get something for his trouble. Nico goes down, but there you go. Again, the B side's theirs. They've done it pretty cleanly. Straight in, no messing around.
Yeah, Yeah, there was a force buy here from Hellraisers, but they only got 1 kill so far. That's Nico being dropped, bombs been planted. And at this point, very similar situation to what we had in the pistol. You've got the upgraded pistols, you've got some armor as well, bonded with the head armor. So at this point, just probably want to save those, take them to the next round. Probably not going to get anything out of this. They somehow take one of the AKs down and pick it up to the next. That'd be amazing. I just don't see it happening. Mousesports will be exiting together. If any of them drop, they'll be refragging in return. But looks like Hellraisers will be holding up torch short. You can boost in that box in front of them. I guess that would make sense. You could just have a little peek over. Maybe a terrorist won't be expecting it, but at this point, it looks like they'll all be exiting through the apartments. So, all good for now.
Yep, absolutely good stuff for Mousesports. Again, keeping it relatively clean, keeping all the rifles they had. I think they had 2 UMPs at the start, so lost out on one of those, not the end of the world. And again, really good stuff from them. Hellraisers kind of struggling to make an impact, but still.
I just saw Dennis actually realigning that smoke. He was actually going to the same line. I was thinking, guys, where do I throw that from again?
It's one of the easiest smokes.
Yeah, and yes, I think I just saw him trying to reline it just to work out, just to make sure he doesn't do that mistake again. Obviously, no harm, no foul in this round, but yeah, throwing smokes on a roof isn't advised, Mirage. We go into round number 3. This should be the full league of Hellraisers. Obviously, a couple of residual sets of armor there and some 5.7s, but ultimately this should be a walk in the park for Mousesports. A couple of SMGs to farm some cash, throw them into the bomb sites first, and a 4-man stack from Hellraisers towards the A site.
So Nico has to be relatively careful. I guess he doesn't want to really lose out. But then again, he's got the UMP, so maybe looking for the action more than anything. And you'll probably find it here. 4-men stack towards the A site. So everyone taking over mid. Mouse just going through the motions here. Again, they're in a good position. They shouldn't lose out on too much. Lol in the same position as well with the Mac 10. Both actively looking to pick up kills. Bondic's got a really nice angle, though, and Nico's head gets taken off now. That's a recovered gun with the armor. That's actually a nice little bit of adjustment. Oh, my word. Bondic? How did he hit that with the UMP on that range? That's ridiculous. And now Dead Fox finds Chris J. This is a disaster. What the hell's just happened?
Dennis just whiffed beyond belief. That's what just happened. He's in a great position there, knows where he is. He's got the advantage with the weapon and the position as well. Somehow can't land the shot, goes to the spray and ends up getting nothing for it. Bondic gets 2 great kills though. Now a 4-on-2 for the CTs on their actual eco round here. This is pretty nutty, but we'll see whether the terrorists still can recover. They've still got the AKs heading towards B. That's the best place to go. So he's 0 there. He's got the P250, but CT's coming in from all angles at this point.
Yeah, Angel's timing could be important, but then again, I think Speedy's going to speed up here. They've got Lol coming out towards the site. The cross might be a bit tricky, but no one's actually facing it. So they're going to kind of play retake, I guess, on this side, try and utilize those pistols, the guns they have to the best of their ability, but now it's been spotted out. They know what's happening. Bomb's going down default. Angel could have a really good shot at this, and he takes him down. Now it's just Lol in a 1v4. Now 2 players do have armor, but he's going to spray in, gets tagged up. He's half HP, and this is a great turn of events for Hellraisers. But what a travesty for Mousesports.
Yeah, absolutely. They had the 2 SMGs. We're saying it's a time for them to farm some cash, but Nico, he's by himself in the palace area. That's quite a common Mousesports approach. Nico goes to a position by himself and he tries to make something happen. He normally is good for it as well, but this time he gets caught by Bondic. Headshot on the 5.7. It was a great angle. You have to say, he couldn't really do much about this. What a fantastic shot that was. The problem is when Dennis was coming from connected, that's when things really went wrong. So that's a tap moment, right? That's 3 taps on the chest. He goes with a full spray at that range. It's going to be very difficult to control. Bondic takes him down. Fair play. That's very impressive, the UMP at that sort of distance, but he makes it happen. And then it all falls apart for Mousesports there. So they do have money to reinvest into this round. They actually have an AWP on Chris J as well. So that's answered some questions as to where that AWP will be going back to. It's going to be Chris J, it looks like. And CTs, they just won an eco, right? So even if they lose this round, they've got money for days going forward. So they're okay. So this is a big round for Mousesports. They can get back into this and take the lead once again. But it's just got interesting. Chris J, where will we be heading towards? He's actually towards top of mid right now.
Chris J's been hitting some crazy shots recently. I'm sure Reddit is well aware of this. Whole Twitch chat is aware of this. Guy's been actually hitting some really nice peak of form. I haven't been up to date
with the current plays. Has he been doing some good stuff?
Dirty no scopes. You know, really? Online J's back.
Right.
Or at least what we've seen so far. I say this, he'll probably completely mess the bed, but we'll see. We'll see.
The bed. Is that
I'm trying.
approach?
I'm trying.
Okay.
I haven't casted in a little while, Henry.
Okay.
It's hard to reset mentally after how I normally talk, but I'm working on it. But it does seem as though at least Hellraisers know roughly what's happening here. It does seem as though Mousesports just kind of going through the motions of what they like to do, get mid control, and they've done just that. Speedy's actually been allowed a great deal of control up towards short, getting towards ladder room, but no one's particularly playing window. It seems like Hellraisers are kind of giving them a fair amount of space to work with.
It's going to be Angel, though, to open things up. That's actually from that connector area. Nico is the first player to drop as well. 5-on-4, still trying to use that AWP to get the first pick for the terrorists. It's not going to be working out for them, though. There it is, though. Speedy replies, 4-on-4, and they still have... Okay, I still have it. They only have 30 seconds now. The bomb is going to make his way towards connector, and A will be the final play, but Bondic, he gets towards A ramp. He's going to try and stop them crossing from that position now.
I don't think he knows that there's absolutely no on ramp, or at least going to maybe wait it out, see if they plant for short, see what they go for here. There's limited time, so his timing on this execution of a peek is big, but the bomb's not actually gone down yet. Chris J still has it in hand. He peeks back in, he gets punished for it, and now the trades come out, but Mousesports come out on top for now, but the time is everything. everything. So yeah, they can definitely get a plant down. They can't be stopped on this unless Sticker hits something ridiculous through a box with a UMP. Not going to happen. 2 seconds left on the plant. It comes in, and it's 0 and a 1v3. Now, Dennis is pretty low, but they know where he is. He's limited on options, and he's going to back away. Not a bad choice here.
Well, there it is. Speedy. After losing the first frag, he manages to find 2 in return, and it all came down to that Bondic play. Yes, he drops a bomb. I thought it could get a bit interesting, though, with 9 seconds remaining. I don't think Bondic could believe he actually got the bomb down there. Christian is running around with his knife out. They didn't check that position, and ultimately they win the round, but it hasn't been the prettiest CS so far, I have to say. It's been a bit of a brawl. And but Mousesports do recover after losing to the Pistols. They will find round number 4 here. 0 does remain. Like I said, the money's actually looking pretty strong for the CTs. They won on an eco, remember. So they'll still be able to buy into the next round, especially with 0 saving his M4. But Mousesports keep 3 players alive. And yeah, after losing the first frag, managing to make sure that A-bomb site is locked down. It's interesting the CTs completely gave it up. Like they walked in from the connector, just couldn't find any defense there whatsoever. They probably couldn't believe their luck.
Yeah, a little bit of a lucky turn of events for them. But Christian at least gets back the orb. Dennis kept hold of that, so that's no problem for him. A little bit of a spawn towards mid. Could see him maybe take a fight, but what I'm looking at is Dead Fox now as well, picking up the AWP. Now, he wasn't actually a primary AWPer in the last team. I spoke to his old coach, Bocco. He was kind of secondary. Barbar was an AWPer above him as well, so him being, you know, really let off the reins here now. So this could be quite interesting to see how well he plays against someone like Chris J, known for the aggression, known for going for those very, very aggressive peaks. He loves a bit of it, but again, not going to be taking the active fire on it. Dead Fox leaves window, it's smoked out, no point taking the fight. So adjusting around already. Lol going to back away from the apartments. And Mousesports just taking their time. Pretty passive, but trying to slowly, looks like, at least take over mid for now.
Yeah, it's going to be a slower play for them this time. Nico, this is what we said. He tries to make plays happen by himself. He puts towards that A ramp, hoping someone faces him. And if you give that guy an inch, he will take a mile every single time. Very skilled, probably one of the highest skilled players in the game right now. And we'll see whether he can open things up here. Molotov towards Sandwich, trying to flush any CTs out that might be waiting for him. But Dead Fox is rotating over. Now Nico has to be very careful. As his teammates do get that mid control, they'll be aiming towards connector.
Yeah, and already Lol's going to be taking a couple of steps there. Spitty's aware that there could be a presence, but going to get ladder room control. Again, Hellraisers are giving them so much room to play with here.
They really are. And
now Hellraisers are already tagged up. You can see Angel's low, Sticko's low, Bondic's in trouble as well. Once this pinch comes in, he's got to pick a fight and stick to it. Now he's going to choose Palace. Don't get me wrong, Nico's been there before, but he's not there again. It's Dennis this time to find him through connector. A nice smoke towards jungle will allow them to play through connector very, very quickly. And now Angel takes a quick swing. He does get the bomb down, but that's about it. Now Lol's traded out. Bomb's going to go down. 4v3. Mousesports have the site pretty under wraps. And well, Hellraisers are locked out here. They need an opportunity to come back in. It just doesn't look like it's happening.
Well, they got one player all the way towards B, so far removed from this situation. It comes down to Dead Fox right now. He's in CD spawn, gets an opportunity, but can't land the shot. That's 2 he's missed in this round now. He goes down to 29 HP as well. Time ticking away. They have got kits available, but it's looking pretty bleak, I have to say. At this point, I'd probably be calling for the save. You're not finding any kills. The bomb's ticking. I think it's time to fall back, but it looks like they still want to go for this one. Sticko doing some damage to the economy at least, but he goes down. Now it will be 3 players remaining for Hellraisers. Oh, sorry, for Mousesports, and Dead Fox, the last player, alive on the bomb. He's going to have to fall back, and they didn't do that. So there it is, Mousesports, once again, getting through that connector area and having full control. It seems like Mousesports are so focused towards the balcony and the A ramp, expecting that to be the hit coming in. The Mousesports are actually just taking advantage every single time. They're not being challenged towards mid. Connectors open for them, and having too much fun, actually, just walking into that bomb site, not finding anything for it.
So, obviously not in this round, we'll probably just see some aggression somewhere, see them do something, but let's go into the gun round. What do you do against mid-control?
So basically...
You've got to do something other than what they're doing,
So you
right?
have plenty of options, right? Obviously, you can throw in an aggressive round every now and then to shut down an initial play. I'd say you want to get the AWP actually being more active, going towards the connector, possibly going for the first pick. Mousesports aren't using a ton of utility towards middle. I think there's more freedom for the AWPer to be a bit more aggressive. He's going towards CT spawn at the very start of the round. I'd like to see him challenge more towards mid. If he can't do that, just have an M4 player, even just waiting stairs or jungle, watching for players to come into the site. That's obviously going to be the first port of call, but it just seems like they're not having any attention towards that area whatsoever. That's a massive problem, but yes, it will be an eco now for Hellraisers after 2 pretty troublesome rounds. They have Deagles, still very powerful in Mirage, so I'm sure this will have a few more twists and turns begins round number 6.
Yeah, we'll see. And Mousesports are fully aware of what they're coming up against. You can see how passive they are, just waiting out, seeing if there's going to be an aggression in mid, just making sure they're going through all those little tick boxes. Okay, right, we're not going to lose guns early. Let's not, give this one up easily. We've already, had a couple of issues here and there. That one round that was stuck with Hellraisers, of course, wasn't a pretty one to see. Angel snuck his way up mid. He could be waiting on... there's no flashes, so no one can flash him in, but he's just going to be holding a bit of a cheeky angle. Bit of a one and done, but... we'll see how well he gets away with this. He's not going to get away with it at all. Chris J, well and truly aware. Mousesports have played this round exactly to expect those sort of plays. Again, saving their utility, taking their time on it. Smoke comes in just to kind of avert the eyes away from connector, allows them to play up short. And actually, there's no one in B right now, so... again.
Yeah. They're still treating this like a gut round. In CSGO, you have to be very careful. It's not like previous iterations where you could just kind of run around with the unit and have a great time. And the anti-ecos would be very rare for a defending team to actually hold those off. But now you need to actually use your utility to eradicate all the risks. You can slow things right down. There's 15 seconds here. That's a bit sketchy considering they haven't got to the B site yet, but it's absolutely fine. There will be 4 players remaining at this point, but Mousesports keeping everyone alive, very successful. They've got Speedy in the kitchen as well. And you can see Hellraisers haven't really got much to save. It's not really worth taking the Deagles into the next round, right? Because you're not going to be using it regardless. They're going to be actually holding towards kitchen. I thought they'd be challenging a bit more than this.
But, 4 players.
Yeah, maybe they're hoping that a terrorist gets impatient and actually tries to push it. But here we go then, trying to find some exit kill. It's going to be Chris J from the apartments, having some free shots. That takes down Dead Fox. Not really much to gain at this point. You can see the CT just trying to keep as many terrorists with the bomb as possible with a chance they can actually maybe go down with the explosion, but not going to be the case here. Bondic desperately trying to make things happen with the PT-50, but he'll be going down with his teammates as well.
Not much to be done. Mousesports with a lovely approach to that, keeping it extremely clean for themselves. And they needed it after that reset earlier. That little bit of a humbling moment, I guess, just kind of, all right, let's start really building into this one. 5-1 as a scoreline already is great for them too. You guess that would be kind of true to what you'd expect here. Hellraisers have been at least being able to kind of challenge the bigger teams a fair bit. They've been getting some close results, mostly due to the likes of maybe I'd like to extend it to the fact at least Zero and Sticker having brilliant games before, especially on Cobbles. Was another massive one for them. I think it was Fnatic who felt the brunt of that pretty much at the forefront of all the games they played. But again, that aside, this is not one of the maps as such we've seen those huge performances on yet. But again, it could happen. This is still relatively early in the game, but Bondic this time going to take matters into his own hands. And for once, Nico's not here.
We'll see what happens. It's going to be a B-sided attack. We saw these smokes potentially going to be used on the pistol round. I'm going to assume it's the smokes to go towards both arches, towards short. You're trying to segregate in the bomb side there. Any players that are by themselves towards that van position are in a lot of trouble. We'll see where that comes in. It's Nico. This time he's doing the fake towards A. So that's fine. He goes down. He's keeping 2 players towards that area. The bombs should be going towards B with those smokes I mentioned before. I'd assume it'll be the short smokes. We'll see what comes in.
They're already pretty far ahead for putting these smokes down. They're actually just going to play it towards the side. Mollies have gone in. Yeah, and well, it's gone okay so far until they've met Zero, and Zero's having none of it. Dennis and I'll get punished. He can't back away from Chris J fast enough. We're down to a minute. It's a 2v3, however, so at least the CT side finally have a small advantage in this, but it is small, bearing in mind. So now Spiddy and Chris J looking for another opportunity. If they get one more pick, it's game on, and Spiddy might be gifted that very, very soon. Whether or not he expects 2 people from the back is yet to be seen, but he will find Angel. Does not expect a follow-up, though. That could be Bondic finding the punish here. 40 seconds now. Speedy just moves away in time. Now, you're going to expect maybe someone in towards kitchen. So that's Dead Fox at the moment. Chris J's hunting that as well actively. But Bondic can be a game changer now. Bombs faked out. Bondic doesn't actually see the player. Now he does. Comes around the back, doesn't hit a clean shot. But he will get the job done. But again, not pretty CS we're seeing here.
That was a bit touching. Sorry, my voice is slightly dying as well. Yeah, it wasn't the best, but it was actually a really nice play. Like, obviously, letting your teammate die, not doing anything about it, normally is a really bad move to make, and you want to be trying to get the refrag. But in this instance, it actually works out very nicely. Like you said, they weren't anticipating for a second CD to be coming in the back of the apartments there. The time was ticking away. They knew a bomb plan has to come in. And Bondic, yes, he doesn't execute it perfectly with the final shot there, but he gets the kill. That's what it matters. He gets it done. And it will be the CTs getting back into this. We said it's very early days still. It's round a break. Still a chance to win the half. So you can never really say a team's really running away with it until they get to that round number 8 point, right? So we come in, CT money, not amazing, but it's okay. You can see they've got Famous, a saved AK as well, but this time Dead Fox has got the AWP, and he'll be towards Connector. We said they had to have more presence in this area. This time they have 2 players ready for it.
Yeah, they've actually got, you could argue 3 almost. Stico playing actively on short as well. This is much better. Look
at the A ramp. Nika's actually walked into the bomb site. They've always left something wildly open, and this is actually a bit of a big deal. Obviously, we're losing kills over here. It's Angel actually going to be finding them. I guess it was me baiting Rusty a little bit too much there, but
never believe Henry G. That's what we've got to learn.
But there it is. That's the fact I'm telling you. They had no idea that Nico was coming in, but still they do find the majority of the kills. But it's Nico left alive, and if there's anyone you want for a clutch situation, this is the man.
Well, he's found out where 2 of them are. I'm not sure if he's going to theorize where Stico might be, but you can see him kind of unraveling what they might be up to. But timing is everything, and Stico doesn't hit the shot. It gives a chance, and it's a small one, but it's Nico still. Ooh. He just runs out of bullets. If he'd had maybe a little bit more, who knows what could have happened. But in the end of the day, Hellraisers finally have presence in mid. They finally had those players in Connector. Angel went aggressive in mid as well, quite late into the round, so throwing a bit of a curveball at Mousesports.
Yeah, we have to say, though, a bit of a gamble. Like I said, A-ramp completely open that point. Yes, they had a player aggressively in the Palace area, but those 2 players in towards Connector, that's been the problem for them, and they've actually adjusted it, and they've actually shut that down towards mid. So that's great little play there from Hellraisers. Yes, it is a risk. Nico could have shut them down, but ultimately they win the clutch, and it's fine. They've reset Mousesports' economy as well. You can see that just on Glocks. A Deagle and a Tech9 as well. They have one smoke to play with, and once again, heading towards B. They buy this utility. They don't seem to be using it very often. Okay, so Milao this time will be setting himself up for the smoke, and we'll see whether he can actually do anything with this. With a flashbang as well. The objective here, Lord, just obviously just to get the bomb down. They're not going to win the round. It's a smoke. Is that landed this time? I think it was fine.
Yeah, it's good enough. It's on the closest arch. Now, as you said, bomb plant is the name of the game here, but it doesn't look as though that's going to be happening because the lockdown between Sticko and Zero has come in, and they're not letting it happen. But now Nico's left with the Deagle. Zero's a little bit vulnerable, so you don't want to be giving anything away here, and Angels come through to babysit. Not going to let a single gun drop from Hellraisers, and they have recovered fairly well now, scoreline-wise at least. So looking to see how now Mousesports maybe adapt again. Do they switch anything up, or do they just go back to what they were doing before? Hellraisers finally started to challenge in mid, but it's time for Mousesports to maybe have an answer to that themselves.
We haven't seen a full execution coming in from Mousesports. One of the critiques I've always given towards him is they relied so heavily on this mentality that Nico has to make something happen at the beginning of every round. He always seems to be by himself, away from the teammates. And yes, someone as good as him, that's fine. If it's working, sure. But sometimes they need to go back to the basics of the game and actually run full default, where he's actually part of the main action, I feel. If he dies early on, it seems like his teammates are a little bit lost without him. But we'll see what happens once again, as it will be Nico towards the Palace, I believe. He's actually there by himself. Yep. He's not as proactive as he was before. Not going to be actually fully facing. He knows his angles have eluded him before, but Dennis has got control of the connection, pushing straight through. Okay.
Yeah, they smoked it themselves and they've gone through it. That was their smoke towards the CT side of connector, and it's actually worked out relatively well. They didn't expect it, but Bondic will at least find one. But now you've seen the unleashing of Nico happen. He's now in the site as well. You've got Chris J up and Spitty up. Spitty just gonna be holding towards jungle, and 3 players in CT from Hellraisers trying to retake this. I don't know if they're gonna get much play towards it, but Dead Fox is certainly gonna go looking. Now Nico's relatively vulnerable, but it's still Nico, and Spitty actually actively taking a fight there. Removes Zero away from the equation, and you're down to 2 now.
Might as well still go for this one. That was the shot that really gave them a chance. Had they landed, it could have been something there. But Nico, there it is. He manages to find 2 kills in the round. So he said connector, that's been adjusted. Hellraiser locked it down, but this time Mousesports, like I said, it's quite a common smoke to throw on the CT side of connector. The idea, obviously, ticket booth is a really strong position with the CT players. They can sit on that position and actually scope in towards you. So you, obviously, like you said, running through the smoke, it's never ideal, but that's the only way you can get through connector safely, really. You throw a couple of flashbangs over to deal with the close range players, and you're focusing towards the steps in jungle. And if you can get out cleanly like that, it actually works very nicely. Nico coming in, Palace once again, perfect timing, and that just shows you that's why they can rely on him to do those sort of plays, because he is so good. But sometimes can be to their detriment. Depends on the form Nico's in, but to be fair, it's very rare he's actually playing poorly.
It looks like Hellraisers this round at least want to try and get information somewhere. Their buy's far from ideal. A UMP, a FAMAS, but they're running right into the jaws of Nico. They've got to be aware that there's a possibility of this. He's been doing this almost every single round, somewhere towards A, almost. So, the rest, unravel the plan, Hellraisers. You know what's going to be coming your way, and it's going to be through connector. Again, that smoke's come in. And Angel's on the other side of this. Dennis waits patiently. He last time just burst through this, got the frag. Now Angel's going to adjust for it, maybe find a spot, go anti-flash and just sit on this one. Bondic needs to just lock down Nico, deny him access, and he's just prowling for it, just looking for the opportunity. But there's a lovely molly as well, forcing him out, but Dead Fox does find Nico. That's going to alleviate so much pressure, allow them to look towards mid, but Chris J's going to step up, finds Dead Fox, his opposing number now down. That play through connector is going to be a little bit easier, and it is. Lol's found Angel, and now it's down to Bondic to just deny this. Find anything, find some play towards it. He's got Lol down, looks for another, he finds it, Dennis is gone, and now it's a 2v2. Flash not perfect, but he works off it, still going to try and find the frag, but Chris J, quicker on the trigger, leaves it into a 1v1. And that was a shot I expected to hit, to be fair, knowing Chris J at the moment, but 3 kills already, bomb coming in, and it's a 1v1 here.
Zero really up against it now. He's hoping Chris J just walks into his crosshair, and he does. Does considerable damage, but he can't find it. Chris J with 4 kills there. Once again, the connector letting down Hellraisers. You can see Angel, he only had the FAMAS towards that position. He actually spotted this terrorist run into the corner. And actually, where it all fell apart, he actually wasted 20 bullets going for the wallbang. By the time the terrorist actually walked out, he only had 5 left in his FAMAS. He got traded straight away, couldn't find a single kill. And then Mousesports managing to get himself in a decent position. Bondic, like we said, from A ramp, did some very good work with the AK-47 there, but just left his teammate in a pretty difficult situation. You've got 18 HP against Chris J, who knows exactly where you are as well. What are the options there? You just have to hope for the best, and he did walk into his crosshair, just can't land the shot.
Yeah, and Mousesports, when they're up against Nico, they do like to go for these B hits. They're doing it right again. Lol's just barreled through, just dive straight in with the Mac 10, and why not? I guess it works out for them pretty well here, so you can't really doubt it at this point. Bondic's very, very alone. Lol's already just carrying through. He's just going for a bit of a run on the map. He just wants to take the tour. Now, swings to the left, and he's going to find even more money. 3 kills for him is absolutely brilliant. The timing also allows maybe a bit of information to slip through that, well, no one was watching the back. We pretty much have everywhere else, so the only place Angel might have been was going to be in the apartments, and Dennis is going to claim him too. So Mousesports, again, doing pretty well here on the T side.
Yeah, clean round there. And the good thing is as well, we talked about Dead Fox being this amazing impact for Hellraisers. The problem is they're actually not winning consistent rounds in a row. The AWP hasn't been coming out for them that often. I think he's had it once or twice, and that is a bit of a problem. As we go to round number 13, it's going to be 5 M4s, but look at the buy. Not a single kit here. If a bomb goes down for Mousesports, it's got an incredibly large advantage. There are smokes available, no incendiaries. Definitely a weak buy going into this. Dead Fox just trying to do what he can, spraying through that smoke at the start. Doesn't land anything just yet. And once again, it's going to be the B-halls that Mousesports seem to be focusing on. I assume Nico on the other side of the map. Yes, he is. So at this point, if he can just find one kill, stay alive, they wait for about 20, 30 seconds, and his team is execute towards B. It's very difficult to contain that, but we'll see what happens as Nico is being a little bit more passive this time, won't be hunting straight away.
No, they can always swing through underpass, go into connector if they really fancy it, but still up in the air. Lol's going to go for a bit of a walkthrough. The problem being that actually Sticko's in a position that may be able to spot that out. Doesn't get a glimpse of him just yet. So let's see if those smokes come in towards mid, where they place them, how they play this out. Do they go up short? Do they play through connector? It does look as though the deep smoke towards CT side connectors come in. And they're actually going to play towards short this time. Now, 2 players are watching this. Sticko and Angel have a lot to deal with. And Angel's going to go for the flash over the top. And ChrisJ's watching this, but Flash Dump can't do anything about it. The swing, the adjustment can't come in well enough for Angel. But Sticko was there, and now the bomb is actually loose. It's down on short. That's a good position, at least for the CT to keep eyes on that.
Well, they've got the man advantage for now. Aggressive towards short. Sometimes when you have these sort of buys, you have to be hunting for frags a little bit more. You can't allow a terrorist to fully execute towards you. So that's absolutely fine. They've got the man advantage. So far, so good. Still a lot of work to do, though. Sticko, he's looking for more here. Actually going towards the ladder room. We'll see whether he can find this kill. This position towards the cinder blocks can actually be very strong towards the connector. 29 seconds now. The last move will be the last one for... Sorry, the next move will be the last one. I am quite tired. For Mousesports. The bomb's down towards shore as they try and reclaim the ground here. And it's going to be Dead Fox to find the next kill.
Yeah, nice little crossfire setup between these two. Zero's denied Dennis to again step towards the B site and has left Lol in the 1v4. Near on impossible at that point. And there we have it. Closed down well by Hellraisers in the end. And you said it, though. Hellraisers had to take a little bit of a gamble, take some more aggressive fights somewhere, and they did, and it actually paid off.
That could have been a massive problem. Once again, if they gave Mousesports too much room to move, they'd have got in positions towards the connector, window room, smoked onto the bomb side, Molotov them out of position, they would have just crumbled. So they had to be hunting then. It's perfect play. That flashbang worked out very nicely. He got 1 kill right, but he headshot the other. So they set his teammate up to get the 2nd kill, which he perfectly did. And we go into round number 14 here. The money's starting to become a bit of a problem for Mousesports. Since they've got Galil, a UMP, I'd assume with this buy, this will be some sort of execute with the bomb down towards that side of the map as well. Maybe an A-split coming in. They have got the smokes to work with here. As Speedy does use the initial smoke towards mid. They're just trying to show some presence. He's firing a lot of bullets here. Just to show, yes, we're here. Might not be an air attack straight away. Don't worry about it. But I think this will be coming in. ChrisJ with the AWP. Probably try and hunt for the first pick and see if they're going aggressive. Then they'll go into some sort of execution-based play, yeah?
Yep. Just keep your eyes on the smoke. See when they use them. See how it goes. Molly towards underpass, going to deny Lol further steps towards it, allow Angel a little bit of a peek, look for the information, and I think they're trying to read this gameplay pretty well. Spiddy's been forced out, and they're going to know that someone was there, surely. You're going to hear that tag through the Molly. Spiddy almost got given a chance then, but Lol's going to find another. He can't get any more, though, but still, damage done, and that's going to force Mouse out towards A now. Bondik's been playing towards that quad box, trying to find something from it, and he's going to do it. Dennis goes down, Bomb's now spotted. They know the plan. Spiddy can still kind of catch him in the heels a bit here, but the tag through the box was massive then. Allows Nico easily to pick up Bondik. Now Nico's, again, just finding more out of nowhere. It's leaving Zero all alone in a 1v3. This is surprising to see work out so well, but Mousesports have indeed pulled it to their favor incredibly well. And now Zero is mollied out, locked out, and ChrisJ's watching it. He doesn't actually see it because of the molly in his own way. So now Zero's been given a chance. It's a slim one, no kit as well, but he does have utility. Flash over the top, and Nico's sat in the same place. Would you expect it twice? It doesn't matter if he does. That's done the job. Now smoke goes down, allows the cross, and Spiddy's got to play this right, but the bomb's actually applied pretty nicely for him. And Spiddy, it's all about timing. He's got a kit. 3 seconds left. Spiddy has to take the peek. Spiddy?
Oh, dear.
Oh, Spiddy.
Maybe he got the wrong information as to where the bomb was down. He didn't seem to face it aggressively enough. If you get a face, at that point, you really need to commit to it. Obviously, like, you either don't face at all and hope he's faking, or you're, like, going all in, right? Yeah, he didn't do either. I guess at that point, he probably thought when the smoke was down, he couldn't see the bomb. I'm not sure whether he knew exactly where it was, but that definitely was a little bit weird towards the end. Hellraisers doing a fantastic job getting back into that round. It was Mousesports actually taking advantage of the mid-aggression coming from the CT to the start round, went straight towards A. Works out quite nicely, get the bomb down, but a nice little retake there. And a good 1v1 situation for Hellraisers. Makes it a very interesting game now, considering Mousesports don't really have much to work with, but it doesn't matter. The Deagles, Angelo lighting up the CTs here. It's going to be a 5-on-3 as quick as that.
Just straight in towards A. No smokes, no flashes, just go in. and do what you can. Try and catch the CTs off guard, and it certainly did. Now the retake's on, though, for Hellraisers. They have a decent bite to do it, but it's being shredded to pieces already by Nico finding Sticko. They're leaving the 2 players, one being Dead Fox here, working his way back in from jungle, and Zero from Connector. Speedy's watching the close left side as well. Gonna at least get a bit of a glimpse of it, but Dennis on the flank, this is big. He's gonna split out both, and that's gonna do the job well enough. In the end, Mousesports do stabilize a fair amount here. But at least Hellraisers did get a couple of rounds and make this look competitive.
Yeah, I think this will be competitive. 9-6 is still a good score margin overall. Like, they had trouble with the economy there. They were struggling to actually adjust at the start of the round. We saw Connector being a massive issue there. Nico, a constant thorn in their side. But still, I think this will be a good game. If Hellraisers win a pistol, there's every chance they can still win this one. We see them come back from worse than this and take teams to overtime and still win. So I guess we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll see how the second half concludes.
All right, guys, welcome back. 9-6 on the half, favorable to Mousesports so far, but Hellraisers certainly bringing it a little bit closer.
Yep.
Competitive game could be upon us if we see a couple of pistols going the right way, or maybe a couple of those rounds turned again.
Or a few more whiffs, who knows? Like you said, it hasn't been the best CS in terms of raw aim and executions, but still, I'm enjoying it. I think Hellraisers have put up a decent fight so far, considering their economic state. And I think, yeah, like I said, if they win the pistol, no reason why they can't win this. Mousesports still quite fresh with Lau here, haven't had the amount of hours we'd expect so far. So there's every reason why this could fall apart. Lau's still got his Penta picture on there, so you know. Shows you how
he's not fully committed yet.
How it is, this is still in its infancy.
But good old Penta being the farming team again. Let's be honest. Every time. I think it was Crystal came out just like, thanks guys. Yeah. Nice one again.
That's what I thought was going to happen, like with the whole Carrigan thing today. I thought like who's getting stitched up this time, right? But it seems like the Danish team's actually kind of stabilized for once. It's kind of cool to see that actually happening. They're all doing very well in their individual teams. They don't have to keep stealing players from each other. You know, it's quite cool.
Dignitas, of course, had that huge performance.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like they were the farming team of Denmark. Every single talent they had was going to be like, Kiabi was gone for that team, AZ was gone for that team, and they seem to be actually the strongest overall now. They're top 4 in, well, the ranked number 4 in Europe. That's kind of amazing.
Awesome to see.
Yeah, congratulations to Marcel and Co. Like for grinding that one out.
Yeah, it was a grind. It really was a grind after how many players just got picked away from them. But as I said, they're in a good position. But now let's get back into this one. 9-6 on the half. Now Mousesports will be on that CT side. Hellraisers on the T side. But we've got to see if Hellraisers can pick up this pistol. It's big for them here to get them back in a really nice position to carry themselves through. Still possible if they don't, but becomes infinitely harder. And Christian's having a real tough time already in mid. 4 players straight through. Hellraisers just going straight on the fights. And It goes so-so. A bit of a trade-out so far, but actually they've got the bomb in a fairly unique position. Possibly get the planting towards A. Nico will be the last standing Guardian as such from CT. But the plant could come in for short, but they can actually go and try and take a fight here. Two players going to peek out, and Deadfox finds one. But Nico, the Surgeon, is just going to take his head off. And now, 3v3 retake time. They've got a kit on Speedy, so it's still possible for Mousesports here. Now they know where two players are. Sticko could still be a problem, though.
We'll see what he can do. 3-on-3, bomb ticking away, like you said. Kits available and flashbangs as well. Two players towards the A ramp, but Nico just completely wipes Zero off the server here, and he's looking for more as he goes aggressive towards the ramp.
Oh, he's got a great angle as well. He knows where Bonnie is. What a sick shot from him, but now it's down to the plant. And this is actually going to be pretty tough. You've got... Well, okay, normally it's pretty tough until Nico goes, I'm going to defy what everyone normally can do and just trash kids.
Yeah, like that's the kind of factor he has, right? Every single situation you can't count him out of. Like, however tough it's going to be, you know, he's on 16 frags now. Obviously, every time he's playing, it seems like he's top of the scoreboard.
Yeah.
But another fantastic round, just what Mousesports needed. It was a nice little rush there from Hellraisers. They had smokes that gave them options to where they wanted to go. They went aggressively towards the connector area. The smoke landed on the CT side of the connector, like quite deep, like past the stairs. So if they wanted to go for a B split, they had a player on short as well. They could have gone for a CT spawn, but they found the kill on A and decided to commit. But unfortunately for them, Nico was waiting for them, and he shut it down to 4 kills. Not really many tactics can counter him, to be honest. If he is hitting shots like that, that's not really down to your execution. It just comes down to the duels, and he's the master of them, I'm afraid.
Yeah, so one smoke goes in, that was towards the close side of sight, and Nico's farming money. Now, he does get taken down, but that's a very small silver lining. Ideally, the T-side would have wanted to plant, then get themselves some money coming into this one, a little bit more than what they're going to have now. Could have got that full flush buy, but that's not going to be the case here, as they've kind of suffered a little bit so far at the hands of Nico, but still, at the moment, you can see LOL still going on the farm. This could be a bit tricky for them. They've got a UMP, a Scout, and the MP9 against head armor, so it's not going to be the easiest in the world.
It's definitely not. This is the buy coming in from Hellraisers after getting the bomb down in the pistol. It means you do get 5 AKs, but not the most amount of utility, but what does it matter when Angel's hitting shots like that? Chris J drops, he had the Scout, now towards the window room. At this point, the Terrorists have found a kill so early on, they don't need to commit. They can bleed the CDs out of any utility they might have. You can see them dropping smokes right now, trying to stop the fast push and the commitment from the Terrorist. And Zero, he's holding towards underpass, and it's going to be, of course, Nico, who else but to go aggressive here and try and get the next kill, and going to be shut down by Deadfox. You can see they're just being patient now, waiting for the reactions to come in from the counter-terrorists. And
it's worked out absolutely perfectly. One player remaining for Mousesports actually has the rifle as well, that being Dennis. The other two still on the SMGs, so it's going to be an incredibly tough round for them to lock down.
Yeah, at this point, though, more of the same. Just keep holding up. The CTs have to work for kills, so they can't allow you to just walk full 5 players into a bomb site. Gonna have to hunt for a frag. Dennis will flash Speedy over. This is the last chance to actually find anything from this round, as the flash will come in momentarily, I'm sure. There it is. Speedy doesn't spot anything, decides to fall back here. So the Terrorist is not giving anything away, not risking a chance of losing a frag at this point.
Yeah, 50 seconds remaining. They will have to eventually make their move. They still have 3 smokes though, so they can piece something together. A lot of flashes too, so not the end of the world. Smoke goes in towards mid window. That's just going to pretty much alleviate one angle they have to care about. Going to take a bit of a gamble that no one's on short right now, and it's not a bad gamble to take. Going to walk their way up connector. Now Dennis is in, I think it's goblin boxes. I'm not too sure.
I think that's what we're calling it now, yeah.
Yeah, that's one way to call it. Actually not a bad spot as well. I don't know if they're going to check it as thoroughly as you normally would. I can imagine maybe Bondic's going to have a little look there, but Speedy already going to make it tough. Sticko going down means at least they've shown some presence. Now, whether or not they commit to this, let's see if Dennis can actually find anything. The plant wasn't quite for him, but Speedy's been doing all the work, and now they line up. Dennis gets gifted a huge chance, and Zero now. Don't do what Speedy did. You can do this. But do they have any smokes? So they've got 2 mollies, so yeah, this should be a lockdown. Again, even just to avert his gaze, he'd have to commit through it. So 2 kits as well. The defuse is already coming in 4 seconds. 3. Zero has to go right about now, and he can't get it done. Dennis was watching, the defuse came in. And what play between Dennis and Speedy there? Yeah, Dennis doing a tremendous job as well. Like you said, that tag team combo, 1 in CT spawn, taking all the attention away. That was a 5-on-3, remember. Hellraisers played that round perfectly up until this point. It's Speedy taking all the attention. They didn't check the goblin boxes. And yeah, Dennis coming out, getting the perfect lineup. And the fact, yes, they didn't have smokes, but when you have 2 incendiaries as well, they stack. So you throw them down at the same time. It lasts longer than 5 seconds. You get a full defuse in that point. The only option the Terrorist has got is to run to his certain death or let you win the round, and he has to save the AK. He does neither. And Chris J gets the shot for the smoke. It's a force buy from the Terrorist, and Nico going to town. Look at the confidence already as well. When you've got aim like that, why not? You know you're going to land those shots. He already finds 2. They know the Hellraisers are going to be a far from ideal buy, and it's a complete lockout, complete shutdown. And Mousesports are giving us a bit of a show here so far. Christian, what a lovely way to start it off as well for him. You didn't see Dead Fox being able to hit any of those. You know, lucky as it may be, timing as it may be, didn't get any of those easier opportunities to kick off the round.
There's an element of skill there. It's your own like kind of personal time in your head, you knowing when they're going to be crossing and they're going to use that to smoke. So I guess it's not all about luck, but it's certainly not a skill shot, but it's certainly something going on there, right? But another buy coming for Hellraisers. They were very unlucky, I have to say, in that 5-on-3. The fact they just didn't check one position. But this is nice from Christian, jumping out the window. You look for that first pick. You're quite safe with the terrorist. Smoke going down and doesn't land the shot, but manages to stay alive. Nico just coming in and maybe gives himself away. Obviously, a lot of bullets going through the smoke. They can see this coming in. He just an easy shot for Dead Fox to take him down there.
Yeah, I want to see if Mousesports try and maybe find a play back here somewhere. Christian's already looking towards ramp, Dennis as well. So they're both trying to find a way to maybe even up the score, whether it be from information or ideally a kill. Okay, a little bit of peek towards ramp. No one's actually there, though. It's Bondic towards Palace more than anything, and the pinch could be a real problem. Let's bear in mind that you've got 3 players in mid right now. Sticko, Dead Fox, and Angel could play towards A if they fancy it, but the bomb's not picked up yet. They're not actually committing anywhere. It looks like Hellraisers like to take their time on this a little bit. See them take over towards the ladder room, take over a bit of control towards connector. Why not? See if they can maybe catch out Mouse here, take this even further into their favor.
Well then, they had this advantage before. It was actually a 5-on-3 the one they threw away, but let's see what they can do. Nico, once again, the final boss of Mousesports, I guess. A bit about that, and he's dropped, so now they have a real chance to actually do something with this.
And Christian, I guess, didn't see where that molly came from. I think that's actually Angels that came through there, and Christian maybe a little bit late to peek it, just didn't quite see where it came from as close as expected. So another pick, another opportunity. This is great for Hellraisers, but they don't actually have a step towards the site, and we're kind of back in the situation we almost had before, with Dennis and Spiddy left. The bomb's now been picked up, and it looks like a B hit. Now, Spiddy's already here. He's over into kitchen. Now, that might be just because Dennis is over saying, guys, just leave me here. I'll play A. Don't worry about it. Get to B. They're going to hear these steps down. They're going to line up, but this time Spiddy only gets 1. It's down to Lol to lock this one down. 4 players about to pour in towards him. He's played it so smart. He's played it so calm. Time is everything. 15 seconds if he found Angel. That could have been different. And now Dennis is left with an almost impossible task here. A 1v3, but the time is actually pretty tight, but Dead Fox watched the push. Well played to him just to keep that in check, not allowing that one to slip away. Yeah,
it's got a bit scary once again. Hellraisers playing the round very well. Obviously a bit touch and go towards the end there. They're running out of time. They don't know what's going on in the B site. They haven't really got enough intel to justify running in there, but they don't have anything to work with there. It's Lau on the site, like you said, great positioning, good awareness, but just overwhelmed towards the end. The bomb is planted in, like you said, Dennis never going to win that one. If they denied the bomb, maybe 5 seconds later, that could have been a real chance to shut it down. But finally, Hellraisers do arrive on the second half here. 13-7, still money available for the CTs. I think this will be the round that breaks them, so a chance for Hellraisers to get back into this one, as both teams with a nice healthy bye. And will be Dead Fox back on the AWP. He's working towards mid right now. And Chris J, he's actually on towards the T steps, not actually hunting towards mid at all.
I think he had a little peek earlier and just back.
Did he have a little look today?
I think Molly came down towards connect. Yeah, just a little cheeky peek, you know, not too much. He's going back again. Angel's going to be coming through underpass, so you've got to expect them to kind of at least keep in mind that this is going to be here at some point. Angel's going to probably shoulder peek in. And actually, lovely timing on the flash coming through from the top of mid. Dead Fox even finds Nico. They've unraveled mid perfectly, unwrapping it like a Christmas gift, one step at a time. And now we've got 3 players again left for Mousesports. The same 3 bearing in mind as well. It's Spiddy, Dennis, and Lol. Every single time left with this challenge. I guess Chris J and Nico trying to make those plays through mid are, I guess, more vulnerable than anyone else at the moment. But still, this is going very nicely from Hellraisers so far. Lol, though, looking to make a difference as does Spiddy through, oh my word, through mid, and there you go. Angel Sticker get found instantly, and we're back down to 3v3.
Good reactions from the CD so far. 3-on-3, like you said. Still 45 seconds here, and they have the AWP in the hands of Dead Fox. Now someone else going aggressive towards mid. Dennis is making things happen here as he gets the bomb down as well. It's just going to be an absolute massacre towards the mid area. Just Bondic remains, and what seemed like such a convincing round once again. Another 5-on-3. They get those kills. Good reactions there. They're not really capitalizing Hellraisers here. Yes, it can be very good to actually slow things down and wait for the reactions to come in, but if you're losing the frags and the duels every single time, and in positions you're not refragging, that can be a horrible situation to recover from. Now Hellraisers, after winning 1 round, they are going to be in a pretty poor state in terms of the money. They're only getting $1,400 into the next round, and it's almost match point. So you pretty much have to force into this one. You can't allow Mousesports to have 8 match points, right? So what do they play? Do they go for it? Maybe they do want to do that. I'd say at this point it's too far gone. You have to just try and force to see what you can do.
They're ignoring you, Henry.
That's fine. Many have before, Lauren, don't worry.
And I've got to say, you know, Dennis isn't often a name that we're saying very, very often in comparison to the rest of this lineup. He is not necessarily a headliner, but at the moment he's playing a lovely game, actually. I like his aggression when it's needed. I like the way he's playing these kind of trickier situations where it'd be a 5-on-3
He's certainly the player if anyone wants to go. He's next on the chopping block, right?
Yes.
But it's still a good player in his own right. Can be good in certain situations. Has had big tournaments before as well and some interesting games, but Yeah, like he's definitely not the headline act of Mousesports, but so far performing pretty well in this one. It's going to be Bondic now, just a PT50. The reason I said you can actually maybe force by this one, obviously the Tech-9 full executes on this map can be very strong indeed.
Yeah, they work.
I think 8 match points in a row is going to be just impossible to recover. I think you have to take the risk at that point and let's see what you could do. But obviously, it's well, choose your poison. You have to work out whether you're going to try and get 8 match points or recover from no money after force buying in this one.
Well, that's a step in the right direction. Angel spot out another. Speed's got to be careful now. There's a chance he's going to be overwhelmed. Nico's quickly come around. He knows there's trouble afoot, but he's still alive, and he's still doing just fine. But has to back away, readjust, reload, and get back into the fight. And Nico just kindly doesn't put Speedy down, just old yellow in the field. But at the moment now, it was the choice that they made. Hellraisers opted to go onto this and try and play through, as you said, so many rounds of being against match point.
Yeah, right.
This is a tough one. It's still not a great buy either.
No, but it's obviously stronger than the Tech-9s,
Yeah.
but I just don't think that the 8 is going to be possible at this point, the way Mousesports are playing. It looks like they'll be sending 4 players towards the 8 side, maybe just going straight in with that set piece to kick things off here to see what they can do, maybe get back into this game. It'll be Sticker showing presence towards Connector, but Nico, he's just shutting down once again for the smoke. Why not?
So they're already on the dirt. They're already half dead. He's just kicking them while they're down. That's a brilliant start. Molly goes in. Now they've just been pushed away. It's like, well, how does he know all this? How does he have that perfect read in the game? The game sense this man has is just wonderful the way he's playing so far. Now, again, Bondic's going to leave himself towards Palace. You've got Dead Fox and Zero working their way back around. Maybe just not feeling like that's the best approach here. Maybe saying, well, we've shown presence A. Maybe they're going to over-rotate. Maybe they'll commit someone that we can maybe work out elsewhere. But they look a little lost as to what they want to do themselves.
Well, how do you recover from this one? You've lost that first play, and we'll see whether they can actually recover. As they go towards middle here, they've got 2 Galils, 1 smoke, and some flashbangs. That's it. They need to find a frag here. Unfortunately, though, they've got Chris J waiting for them. He's in the connector, though. Had he been more aggressive, could have been a big problem. They haven't got the smoke to actually really shut the mid area down correctly, but he'll be looking towards the A ramp. A split coming in. It'll be a very basic one of that. They just have to go to a contact play and hope the timings work in their favor.
And Nico could be in for a gorgeous bit of timing here as well. If he decides to play mid at the right time, once maybe Chris J makes contact, spots him out towards connector, or he can just hold the push from jungle, which he's doing right now. Actually gets outdone by Sticko. That's going to open up a very thin window of opportunity, and it's been taken even further by Bondic and Dead Fox. Now A is completely vacant. Suddenly Hellraisers decide they want to hit these shots, and they've done just that. Now Spiddy and Lol going to play their way back in from CT, but Sticko already takes the angle, finds Spiddy's head and puts it on his mantelpiece. Now Lol left in the 1v4. You're not going to have much fun on a retake like this, but he's going to give it a good crack anyway.
Yeah.
Why not, I guess?
At this point, any kill he can get. This keeps damaging the terrorist Konomuchi. You know he's weak right now. If he finds 2 kills out of this one, it's absolutely fine. Probably not going to win the round, I think, at this point. Just trying to take them down with the bomb as well, as he does trying to hunt and save the AWP. So I think the cities have more than enough to buy it to the next round. I think they're fine. But Bondic will be locking him into city spawn. You can survive the bomb at this distance, so it doesn't look like he'll be changing position too much. It's going to be running to the safety of his initial spawn and seeing whether he can survive with the AWP.
Yeah, now it's the gamble of where do I peek. He does find Dead Fox, but did he spot the play? Yeah, he must have seen him jumping over the top, and he doesn't stay alive. Bondic will find him, and Harry's actually recovering AWP, which is great for Dead Fox, and they keep 2 alive. But their money is far from perfect either. But you can see LOL's money is absolutely dire at this point.
Yeah, saving that AWP would have helped out tremendously. I mean, they can really balance the load in terms of the buy to this round. They still have an AWP, 3 rifles, and yes, Lau will be on a 5-7. 5-7 though, it's obviously got a 1-shot potential as well. If you get in the right angle, just need a bit better smarter the way you play it. You obviously have to be quite passive, but we'll see what it can do. Chris J trying to shut things down as he looks aggressively towards the A ramp. Not going to find anything just yet. We're back to a default. Hellraisers are starting to believe now. Not fully committing as Dennis actually pushes the A ramp to begin with. So he's actually getting information here. Yes, he doesn't find a kill or anything, but he knows he's not going to be executed. They can actually potentially fall back, focus more towards mid while he gets in a decent position there.
Would he dare push this far?
Oh dear.
It's always a gamble to push that far. You saw, even when it was the other way around, no one was pushing that far beyond. She always knew that maybe Nico was there or someone could be watching it. And now Nico fancies his odds, and he's going to win it out. Why not? Again, just double down and go for it. Angel falls, and we're back down to a 4v4.
Yeah, you have to question Dennis's mentality there. It's a round. They just need one to finish it off right. Does he need to be doing these really crazy plays? Equal situation, though. I guess it's recovered. And Nico still hungry for blood here as he goes into the palace. Bondic, though, he's been his nemesis in this area, and there's going to be another duel going in his favor. 4-on-3, but Hellraisers have thrown a lot of these rounds away before. Can they do it again? As Lau, what position is he in? Is he towards the Fafan, or is it at the end?
He's playing like I guess the Pronax.
Sort of tapped out, of course.
Yeah, the Pronax sort of position,
Yeah,
almost.
like 5-7.
Yeah.
Basically like a one and done. He wants to get 1 kill and get the information for his team.
If it costs him some time, if it gives him a chance to come back in, that's a big deny. Sticko falls. That might give a false sense of security, though, to Chris, just saying maybe they're playing A, maybe they're not. We'll have to wait and see if Spitty stays committed towards B. Out of everything, LoL will need the support here, and now this will give away the picture. That molly doesn't come close. Now LoL has a chance, a big chance, and timing is everything. Zero and Dead Fox could be on the chopping board. Here we go, sees the barrel of the gun, takes the fight, but it's a 1-for-1 trade, but that's fine. That's what you expect from him. And now Spitty, did they see the gun then? I don't think they did, and this should be all that she wrote. Spitty will close it down, 0 falls, and Mousesports end up looking pretty robust on this map. Something I guess you'd expect coming into this to a degree. They've looked good, but it's more eyes on LoL so far. But a quiet game from him. Not really a headliner, but played well enough.
Yeah, he slotted in quite nicely. I think the main learning we can take away from this game is the fact that Hellraisers lost about 6-5 on threes. It seemed like they seemed to be getting the opening pick in most of the rounds, losing a lot of the key clutches down to some individual bad decisions overall. I felt like that was the main take I've got from that one overall. It seems like they did a great fundamentals in terms of approaching the round, getting the first pick, having the good positions, and then actually choosing the correct bomb site. It's just they left themselves very little time to actually win the round and overall actually lose the clutch. Obviously, Nico and Speedy were having great rounds in those situations, but sometimes you can do a little bit more just to eradicate that being a risk overall.
Well, next map coming up after this will be Train, but before we get to that, let's head back to the desk and see what they have to make of that one.
Mirage between Mousesports and Hellraisers, a truly international affair. 7 different nationalities on the server, 10 players in the server. Kind of crazy. You don't see that every day. And someone I don't see every day, glad to have you here, is Mr. Chad Birchall.
G'day, man. How you going?
G'day. We're going to be talking a little bit about that one. It's Mousesports picking up 16-8. Now, Chad, you're basically sitting there frantically writing notes round after round. It felt like you're actually, to an extent, being quite critical of Hellraisers. You weren't happy with the way that they approached that.
Yeah, Henry touched on it just there towards the end. Some of the rounds by Hellraisers, they had the advantage, but they, like that last round, they just need to regroup. When you have a number advantage like that, you regroup and you hit a side together and you trade out efficiently. If you're off lingering like you are, you get picked off at other sites and you're not helping anybody. So this was the round, I think, where Spitty, I don't know what was happening exactly. I think he might have been told that it was planted in the wrong spot, or he didn't think the guy was sitting it because it was just on the corner of the box here. But Spitty, he lost his 1v1. If they had won this 1v1, Mouse, or it was actually a 3v1 in the favor of Zero here, who managed to take it. If they had won this, it would have been a lot more convincing half from Mouse. And also Mouse got ecoed early on. They lost the 3rd round. After they won against the Force by quite convincingly, then a couple of pistols that Hellraisers held on to managed to beat them in the following round anyway.
This was crazy that he just went for a full
Yeah,
here.
so I think he must have thought he was in the smoke because he didn't, like, he mustn't be able to see him there. It must have just been out of his vision. So they're a bit unlucky there for Spitty, but this round here is really important because Hellraisers, I think they're in a 3-on-5 situation. They make 2 really early picks, Angel and Dead Fox grabbing 2. Now, the reaction right now from Mouse is super important. They retake middle. All 3 players head towards middle, 1 window, 1 connector, and 1 short. They throw a flash over, and they pick together, and they trade out, and they actually win this round. This is really a really good play by Mouse. They know that they're down and out. They need to focus on one area of the map together and try and trade proficiently, and that's what they do here. The flash comes in, Spitty picks out, he grabs 1, Lau grabs 1, and then it just tumbles out of control there for Hellraisers. If they had all dropped back or just literally just sat there watching Lions for a little bit longer, they still had a lot of time left on the clock. It would have been you know, a lot easier for them to win that round, but Mao's just dominating there in middle.
So that was just that was a call. Basically, like we need to do something. We always talk about the kind of the necessary aggression when you need to level out numbers, conceding early frags as a CT side, and you don't often see such a prime example as that. That's like everything going right.
It really just depends on where the picks happen. For example, so if you lose numbers in middle and you want to take territory back and you still have 2 players in A, then both of you may go aggressive A ramp and try and find a kill. It just worked out that it was middle where they decided to go.
I'm not making you ill, am I?
No, it's probably the nachos we're eating. Can we get popcorn instead?
Popcorn gets stuck in your teeth, though.
Yeah, I know, but I like popcorn. Do you guys have you guys have sweet popcorn in the UK, don't you?
I'm a salted popcorn kind of guy.
Yeah, I'm with that as well.
As it should be done. Or like they drown it in like caramel and stuff.
Yeah, I don't get that.
What's that about?
You just
Caramel.
want salt. You don't want any of that rubbish.
You really don't. So another kind of point that we did highlight both in the pre-match and actually over on the Casa desk was Lau's performance, just kind of turning up. A very solid performance, 17 frags for him alongside the rest of his teammates. In fact, you know, between Spitty, who was second on the scoreboard, and Lau,
pretty even.
It was, but between 17 and 18 frags.
Yeah.
Guess who's on the top again? Mr. Nico, relentless.
Yeah, if he can be the star and consistently be the star, then everybody else just needs to do their role and just facilitate him to have his big rounds. I saw you commenting on the pistol round where we saw him just going ham with the USP, just doing Nico things. And if you can have a guy who grabs 4 pistol headshots, you know, you're going to get the round.
And it was stylish as well. Like, he's catching players, he's getting shots that you wouldn't expect to be hit.
Yeah.
You know, like a T strafing into ramp from Tetris. Like, you see them, you get info, you don't hit that shot.
Yeah.
It's absurd, and him winning that certainly was a big leap in the right direction for Mousesports as they pick it up 16-8. Man, the score is rather convincing for Mouse. So just something else that's convincing regarding the score is their application, the Score Esports application. You can get it on your smartphone. You know the drill. Check it out for, of course, available on iOS and Google Play. And actually, you can get a good preview on the absence of Oscar. That's what I'm telling you to check out right here, right now. You're wondering why he's not playing? You can find out over at the Score Esports application. Go grab it on your phone, and when we come back, we'll be talking about Train.